I want us to look at purchasing by daily market lists, and this method is used for purchasing perishable foods on daily basis and when it is possible to have two or more approved suppliers. So we have the guideline on how the daily market list is prepared. It is usually used for perishable commodities like fruits, vegetables, milk, and such other like items. A senior member of the kitchen staff takes a quick stock of the foods left after each service. So that means that the commodities that have been left in the stock or in the store are taken stock, and whatever is remaining is recorded. Then he informs the chef of the requirements that are required for the next meal. Then the chef fills in the market list the quantities of all the items required for the next day. So that means that the requirements for the next day in terms of the menu items are listed. Then the market list is indicated with the quantities. Then the list is passed to the purchasing department, and at the purchasing department, the approved suppliers are contacted on the form and then asked to quote the items, the prices for the items the catering establishment needs. So once they quote the prices are given uh, the prices given are indicated on the list against the quantity and also the quality. Then orders are placed on columns of the preferred supplier or shared by all of them. So that means that orders are placed so that the approved suppliers they can supply the commodities to the catering establishment. We have advantages of using daily market lists as a method of purchasing. One, the purchaser is able to select the most competitive prices from the different suppliers. So once they quote the prices, that is where the purchasing department will select who are intending to supply the commodity with the best prices and the best quality. Then it takes the supplier's price quotations or it makes the supplier's price quotations more competitive. So that means that the suppliers will always to be intending to be used as a supplier of a certain catering outlet. So they will ensure that their prices are competitive and their prices they are the best so that they can be given the task of supplying the commodities to the catering establishment. It ensures the availability of supplies. So that means that with this, the supplies will always be available because you are now dealing with the specific suppliers and they are going to be supplying you the commodity daily as quoted in the market list. Then suppliers only quote against the purchase specification. So the purchase specification shows the quality of the commodity, and that means that they will have to quote the prices according to the quality that you have specified. Then number 5, it assists the purchaser in selecting the most economic ordering quantity. So the purchaser, that is the catering outlet, will have to ensure that the prices or the commodities they are purchasing the order that is the most required, and they will not order the commodities that are going to be more or they are going to be less. So that means that the most economic order quantity is the one that is going to be ordered. And with the economic order quantity means that the cost of ordering and the cost of um, delivering the commodities will be equal. So that means that the cost of ordering, delivering, and also the storage cost must be equal. None of them should be higher than the other. Then disadvantages. It may be time consuming. It may be time consuming because you have to ensure that first of all you take stock, then after that you have to ensure that you have communicated to the stock the suppliers that are approved, then they quote the prices. After they quote the prices, you need also to make your orders appropriately. So it can be time consuming. So since you're supposed to purchase after a day, you need to do that work promptly, maybe during the evening hours after immediately you've done the service of the lunch. Then it is applicable for small establishments due to the volume of supplies required, making it an economical or making it uneconomical of the supplier to quote or offer such a service. So that means that with such a catering outlet that is a small one, you find that you can be able to have the suppliers quoting the prices and delivering these items promptly within a very short notice. But when you're dealing with a catering outlet that is large, you find that it can be very uneconomical having the suppliers coming to deliver the commodities every other morning. Then the last but not least, the suppliers who offer a better service than the others may not be as competitive in prices. Thus, the establishment may not benefit from such a service. Now, since you have to deal with suppliers several suppliers, and once you decide on those several suppliers, at some point there might be suppliers who can be very competitive in prices, in terms of prices, so you may not be able to take advantage of such suppliers. You'll have to deal with the ones that you have already ordered the commodities from, so that becomes a disadvantage. So next we are going to look at the purchasing on weekly or fortnightly quotation list. So this is usually almost the same as the daily or the daily market list. So you find that with this, the market list is usually done after a week or after a fortnight. So that means that after 2 weeks. So this method is used to purchase grocery items where a delivery of once a week or once a fortnight is adequate. So once a week or once after 2 weeks. The method is similar to that described when purchasing perishable foods by daily market list. So as I had mentioned, it is a similar method. The head store man checks the level of the items in the store at a weekly or fortnight period to determine the number of items required. So they have to take stock of whatever is there after a week or after 2 weeks. Then they determine what is in the store and what is required. Then he fills the wanted items for each item wanted based on the normal order quantity and the volume of the business expected. So you realize that it is they have to also do a list of what is required from the suppliers. Then the purchase office sends out a blank quotation sheet of all a list for suppliers to fill prices, then return them by a specific date. So with this, the blank quotation sheets only shows the items that the catering outlet requires from the suppliers. So they just have to fill the prices of the items and return them on a specific date. On receiving the list, they are entered in a master quotation list and a decision is made about where the orders for each item are to be placed. So that means that after the receipt of the list, they are then entered into a master quotation list where a decision is made on who are going to be supplying these commodities. So a decision is made on who has listed the best prices and who has listed the best quality of the commodities. This would be based on the requirements for the next week or fortnight and the prices quoted and the budget available and the storage space available. So that means that once the decision is made on the best prices and the best quality from the suppliers, then the orders are made, and then the suppliers are contacted so that they can deliver the commodities according to the prices quoted and the budget available and the storage space available. So that is it. Well, that is all about the daily market risk and also the purchasing on weekly or fortnightly quotation list. So next we are going to talk about purchasing by cash and carry.